झांझुआ राजपूत घराने से हूँ और मेरे खानदान की रगों में हमेशा ही फौजी खून रहा है। उस वक्त मैं हिंदुस्तान को एक अंग्रेज की नजर से देखता था।
अंग्रेजों का नमक खाया हमने, उसे खारिज कर दूं मैं?
लेकिन जब नजर साफ हुई तो मेरी समझ में आ गया, आजादी के लिए लड़ने वाली अगर कोई फौज है तो उसका नाम है आजाद हिंद फौज।
खानदान दी पग तार तार करके हुण रिश्ते गिना रहे हो।
You are charged with Indian Army Act Section 41, waging war against the king.
कसमें खाई थी कि अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ लड़ेंगे, चाहे खुद की जान क्यों नहीं चली जाए।
अंग्रेजों के खिलाफ हम तीनों साथ लड़े हैं, मुकदमा भी साथ ही लड़ेंगे।
Hello and welcome to Political Theatre. India is the largest democracy in the world, and twists and turns in the world of Indian politics attract everyone's attention. Several political developments take place every day, making it difficult for people to keep a track of these events and understand their implications. In the next half an hour, we'll bring to you the top political events of this week and analyze and decode them for you. So let's begin with the big story of the week. The monsoon session of the parliament began this week. The opposition raised a number of issues to corner the government, such as mob lynching cases and agrarian crisis. But due to repeated disruptions, only 2 bills could be passed in the first week of the monsoon session.
The monsoon session of the parliament began on Monday with paying respects to the departed members of both houses, and the proceedings of both houses were adjourned on the first day as a mark of respect to them. With the opposition raising several issues in a bid to corner the government, both houses witnessed repeated adjournments on the second day. BSP chief Mayawati resigned from the upper house over the issue of atrocities against the Dalits.
जिस समाज से मैं ताल्लुक रखती हूँ, यदि मैं अपने समाज के हितों की बात, उनके हितों का प्रोटेक्ट नहीं कर सकती, उनके जुल्म जाति
You can ask for a discussion. What more you want?
उसमें रहने का अधिकार नहीं है ना कि मैं हमसे सीखा दे रही हूँ।
Okay.
The upper house saw heated exchange of words between the opposition and the government during a discussion on mob lynching.
इसमें किसी भी विपक्ष की पार्टी को फायदा नहीं हो रहा है इस लिंचिंग से। एक पॉलिटिकल पार्टी है, रूलिंग पॉलिटिकल पार्टी, जिसको ये फायदा हो रहा है। This is just to harvest the political harvesting के लिए हो रहा।
हालात इतने खराब हैं कि धर्म के नाम पर कुछ लोग बस में चढ़ने से डर रहे हैं, ट्रेन में चढ़ने से डर रहे हैं।
We immediately ask for a ban on these vigilante groups of all natures, whether it is moral policing, whether it's cow vigilantism, who are resorting to such actions. These groups must be banned by a central order. And that is the demand my party would like to make to the government.
इसलिए हिंसा पार्टीशन इशू नहीं हो सकता, पार्टीशन दृष्टि से या विचार की दृष्टि से, भावना की दृष्टि से उसका जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं हो सकता। जितनी घटनाएं अभी तक हुई हैं उसमें हर एक में कानूनी कार्रवाई एक व्यवस्थित सिस्टमैटिक तरीके से हुई।
The issue of agrarian crisis was also taken up for discussion in the lower house, with the opposition raising questions over the steps taken by the government to help farmers and the government mounting a strong defense.
किसान अपनी मांगों को लेकर, अपनी जायज मांगों को लेकर सरकार के समक्ष जाता है तो केवल उसके आवाज को नहीं दबाया जाता, लेकिन उसकी छाती को गोलियों से छलनी की जाती है।
You are placing before the honorable house, you have to authenticate them. Yes. You should not be.
There is a video. There is a video which proves that.
You should listen.
There is a video which proves that. आंकड़े कभी झूठ नहीं बोलते। 3 साल हो गए इनको अध्यक्षा महोदय। 3 साल में कृषि के विकास के दर में भारत में 1.7% वृद्धि हुई है। केवल। और जब यूपीए की सरकार थी, आखिरी 3 सालों में 3.6% की वृद्धि हुई थी, वो हमारा रिकॉर्ड।
जो लास्ट ईयर था 16-17, आंकड़े चिल्लाकर बोल रहे हैं 16-17 के आंकड़े की 4.9% की वृद्धि हुई, 4.9% की। दूसरी जो इन्होंने सदन को और देश को गुमराह किया कि हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने चुनाव के पहले कहा कि हम लागत मूल्य का 50% मुनाफा देंगे, और अब हम दो गुना कह रहे हैं। समर्थन मूल्य की बात इन्होंने जोड़ दी, जो हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी ने समर्थन मूल्य नहीं बोला था, लागत मूल्य का 50% ज्यादा, हम 2 गुना देंगे।
Amidst repeated disruptions, only 2 bills could be cleared in the first week of the monsoon session of Parliament. The IIIT Public-Private Partnership Bill 2017, which seeks to grant statutory status to IITs and RTE amendment bills, were passed by the Lok Sabha. The government has listed 34 bills, including 16 new bills to be passed in this session, which comes to an end on the 11th of August.
For more on this story, we have with us senior journalist Mr. Ashok Tandon. Mr. Tandon, it's a very important session, not only in terms of the fact that the vice presidential and presidential elections are happening in this entire session itself, but also from the government's point of view, there are several important bills, and from the opposition's point of view, there are several important issues which are to be raised. First week, we saw how the opposition cornered the government on the issue of mob lynching, the agrarian crisis. Even one of the prominent opposition leaders, Mayawati, tendered her resignation. So how do you believe it has gone as far as the opposition strategy is concerned?
See, normally the first week of every session is devoted to the opposition. And they have so many issues to raise, and rightly so. That is the democracy, the beauty of democracy in India. But very significant, as you also mentioned, was the resignation of BSP leader Mayawati. Now, the speculation is that she wants to contest the Phulpur by-election, which is likely to be vacant after the resignation of the Deputy CM, Mr. Maurya in UP.
Okay.
And the idea behind is that can the entire opposition support Mayawati's candidature in Uttar Pradesh Phulpur constituency? So, I don't want to comment more on that, but the fact remains that she insisted that her resignation should be accepted. In the first instance, the deputy chairman tried to persuade her not to resign. But finally, it was accepted. I think it's a very significant development from the point of view of the opposition unity in the run-up.
The mob lynching debate also saw, the entire opposition taking on the government.
See, it was expected. These unfortunate incidents which have been happening in different parts of the country is a matter of concern for everybody, including the government. Look at the reply given by Arun Jaitley on that. Categorically stated that the government, central government, is totally opposed to it. And an advisory has been given to the states to take stern action, those who are involved in it. And the speculation is also that anti-social element in the garb of vigilante are trying to create disturbances in different parts of the country.
That's also seeming to be a law and order situation problem with the states, center saying the states
In fact,
should go ahead and
yes,
take over.
but the states have a responsibility. And why should states be having second thought? Why not take action?
Okay, quickly, one more thing, Mr. Tandon, on this aspect that, the first week also saw a number of disruptions. Rightly so, you pointed out that the opposition has a right to go ahead and raise issues, and we've seen how the first week belongs to the opposition only. But there have been so many disruptions that only 2 bills could be taken up in 4 days and passed. So it's a very short session, long list of bills. Do you believe that government strategists will be able to ensure
I think so, as it happened in the previous sessions also. First week is given to the opposition to raise issues of concern, and there are disruptions as well. But as we approach the second and the third week, a legislative business get into action. And the final week is devoted entirely to the legislative action, business. And I do hope that if not all, some important bills certainly would be passed.
So let's see what happens in the parliament in the forthcoming weeks. We'll take a short break here, but when we come back, we will also give you the details of the presidential election in which the first citizen of India was elected, and also the ongoing process of polling for vice president's post. Welcome back. The country got its new first citizen this week. NDA's candidate Ramnath Kovind became the 14th President of India by securing 65% votes in the election which was held on 17th of July. The opposition nominee Meera Kumar secured just 35% of the votes polled.
I, Anup Mishra, the returning officer for the presidential election 2017, hereby declare that Shri Ramnath Kovind, resident of 42 HIG Maharishi Dayanand Vihar, Phase 2, Kalyanpur, Kanpur, Uttar Pradesh, has been duly elected to the office of the President of India.
The Lok Sabha Secretary General announcing that Ramnath Kovind will be the 14th President of India, a moment that the President-elect described as emotional and one that he had never imagined would come to pass.
आज के चुनाव परिणाम के लिए मैं सभी देशवासियों का आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। देश के हर क्षेत्र के जनप्रतिनिधियों ने मुझ पर जो विश्वास जताया है उसके लिए मैं उनका आभारी हूं। व्यक्तिगत रूप से मेरे लिए ये बहुत ही भावुक क्षण है।
At the final count, the NDA-backed candidate won the presidential election 65.65% votes against the opposition-backed Meera Kumar's 34.35% votes. Kovind also became the second Dalit leader after K.R. Narayanan since independence to occupy India's highest constitutional post. Congratulating her rival on his victory, opposition candidate Meera Kumar said her battle of ideology will continue despite her defeat.
हमारे जितनी निष्ठा है इस विचारधारा में, इन मूल्यों में, हमने उस निष्ठा के साथ ही लड़ाई लड़ी है और ये मूल्य उन लोगों के मूल्य हैं जो इस देश के अधिकांश निवासी हैं। हम उनके तरफ से इस लड़ाई को लड़ रहे हैं।
As flowers and extra security arrived at the former Bihar governor's home in Delhi, celebrations broke out in Kovind's hometown in Uttar Pradesh. Prime Minister Narendra Modi led political leaders across party lines in congratulating the president-elect.
मैं श्री रामनाथ कोविंद जी को आज जो ऐतिहासिक जीत हुई है राष्ट्रपति पद के चुनाव में उनकी, उसके लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी की ओर से बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं।
हम बधाई देते हैं देश के 14वें राष्ट्रपति रामनाथ कोविंद जी को और मीरा कुमार जी के साहस को, हिम्मत को, चूंकि हम लोग लड़ रहे थे राष्ट्रपति के चुनाव साथ साथ आइडियोलॉजिकल लड़ाई हमारी थी।
अब जब ये परिणाम आ गया है तो जाहिर है कि कोविंद जी हमारे राष्ट्रपति हैं और उनको जो सम्मान मिलना चाहिए वो सम्मान उनको मिलेगा, उसमें कोई कमी नहीं होगी। लड़ाई तब तक थी जब तक के चुनाव था।
Kovind's landslide victory was facilitated by cross-voting in many states, notably Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Goa, Jharkhand. Meera Kumar got more votes than Kovind only in opposition states like West Bengal, Karnataka and Punjab. Out of the total 4,896 valid voters, 4,851 MPs and MLAs cast their vote in the poll on 17th July. In Parliament, 522 MPs voted for Kovind while 225 voted for Meera Kumar. Votes of 21 MPs and 56 MLAs were declared invalid. Out of the total votes, Ramnath Kovind got 7,02,044 and Meera Kumar received 3,67,314 votes. Ramnath Kovind will be sworn in as the 14th President on the 25th of July by the Chief Justice of India. In the last presidential polls in 2012, outgoing President Pranab Mukherjee defeated his rival P.A. Sangma. Mukherjee secured 69% of the votes.
So, Mr. Tandon is still with us. Mr. Tandon, finally our nation has a new first citizen. He is going to take oath next week on 25th. What do you believe are going to be the challenges for Mr. Ramnath Kovind in the President's House for the next 5 years? It's a very important constitutional post.
It is. He is the constitutional head of the state and his primary duty is to ensure that the country is run within the framework of the Indian Constitution. But I don't see any challenges being faced by the President of India. Normally, you know, even while the outgoing President was from a different political party and we saw an excellent relationship between the two and a very smooth functioning. So, I think that there will be absolutely no problem, no challenge before Mr. Ramnath Kovind and we will have a very smooth functioning. a very balanced equation between the government and Rashtrapati Bhavan. And the choice is excellent, I must say. The whole country has welcomed the choice, and a person who comes from such a poor family and also from the socially backward,
making it to the top post in the country.
Post in a country like India, okay. I think it's a remarkable thing.
Okay, so as Mr. Tandon was pointing out, it seems the journey ahead for the Supreme Commander of all the armed forces in the country, as well as the top constitutional post, Mr. Ramnath Kovind, will be easier in the next 5 years. Let's take a look at another story here, and this relates to the second most important constitutional post in the country, that's the Vice President of India. The stage is all set for the polls to the post of Vice President. The NDA announced the candidature of senior BJP leader Venkaiah Naidu to the post, and both the nominees, the NDA nominee as well as the opposition nominee Gopal Krishna Gandhi, filed their nominations to the post in this week.
भाजपा के वरिष्ठ नेता और अर्बन डेवलपमेंट मिनिस्टर श्री एम वेंकैया नायडू जी एनडीए की ओर से उपराष्ट्रपति पद के लिए प्रत्याशी होंगे.
Putting all speculations to rest, BJP President announced the name of veteran BJP leader M. Venkaiah Naidu as NDA's candidate for the post of Vice President of India this week. A four-term Rajya Sabha member, Muppavurappu Venkaiah Naidu, was a Parliamentary Affairs Minister in the first 2 years of the Modi government, before he was given charge of the Information and Broadcasting portfolio in addition to the Urban Development Ministry. He also held the Rural Development Ministry in the Vajpayee government. BJP stalwart from Andhra Pradesh, Naidu has also served as the party's national president from 2002 to 2004. Flanked by senior leaders of the NDA, including Prime Minister Modi, Venkaiah filed his nomination for the post of Vice President. Later, an emotional Naidu said he was honoured and will uphold the dignity of the office if elected.
I deem it as an honour to be nominated as a candidate for the August position of the Vice President of India's Republic. I will uphold the dignity, the decorum of the institution, and also work towards further strengthening parliamentary democratic system.
Naidu will face opposition nominee and former West Bengal Governor Gopal Krishna Gandhi in the August 5 election that has 790 parliamentarians as members of the Electoral College. Gandhi too filed his nomination for Vice President in the presence of senior Congress and other opposition leaders, including the JDU.
मैं किसी दल से जुड़ा नहीं, मैं निर्दलीय हूँ, स्वतंत्र हूँ, मेरे विचार मेरे अपने हैं। लेकिन अगर आज इतने दल मिलकर एक सामान्य नागरिक को कहते हैं कि आप हमारे उम्मीदवार बने, तो इसका मतलब यह है कि हमारी राजनीति से आगे बढ़कर हमारी संस्कृति से जुड़ती है.
While Gandhi's candidature is supported by 18 opposition parties, including the JDU, Naidu has a clear lead in the electoral contest, with the BJP-led NDA having a combined strength of more than 400 members of the Electoral College. While non-NDA parties, the AIADMK, TRS, YSR Congress have announced their support to Naidu, the BJD has switched sides, announcing its support to opposition candidate Gopal Krishna Gandhi. However, with more than 60% of the votes likely to go in his favour, Naidu is set for an impressive win over joint opposition nominee Gopal Krishna Gandhi.
Mr. Tandon, this is the second election on which all eyes will be set, specifically the post of Vice President of India. Numerically, NDA is pretty much as well placed as it was in the presidential election. But there is a surprise this time around. And the surprise is that the BJD and the JDU, which sided with the NDA in the presidential poll, have now moved towards the opposition. So is that sort of a setback for the ruling combination, or it's not going to make any difference as far as numbers are concerned?
See, I must say that there is hardly any excitement in the vice presidential election, whereas there was some excitement in the presidential election because all the states were going to cast their vote. And there the effort was to, have opposition unity. and therefore the outcome was also being very eagerly awaited, which party has voted for whom, because the numerical strength or the arithmetic was not absolutely in favor of the NDA. They were short of a few votes, but that excitement resulted into a very surprising cross voting as well, and Ramnath Kovind polled more votes than the NDA expected. And also one factor which was witnessed in the presidential election was that the entire attempt to have a united opposition in the run-up to 2019 Lok Sabha, it failed.
Okay.
And also the Meera Kumar's campaign to make it an ideological battle also in a way failed and boomeranged, with leaders like Mulayam Singh Yadav supporting NDA candidate. But that thing is missing in the vice presidential election, because even now many parties have gone back to the opposition candidate, but the arithmetic is such that there is no excitement. But I think some of the regional parties like BJD and JDU also, they are trying to balance and show that they are equidistant from the NDA as well as the UPA. So that is the only perhaps conclusion we can draw. But the result is a foregone conclusion. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha members are going to vote, and the total strength NDA is far ahead of the combined opposition. Even those who were earlier in the with Mr. Ramnath Kovind are now with Gopal Krishna Gandhi. But I think the excitement and anxiety will be much less in this election as compared with the presidential election.
Okay, so let's wait and watch till the 5th of August when the polling for the vice presidential election will take place. We'll take a short break here, but when we come back, we will give you the details of what all transpired in the political arena across the country. Stay tuned. Welcome back. From a new chief minister in the northeastern state of Nagaland to setback to the opposition Congress in the western state of Gujarat. Let's take a look at what else made news in the political arena this week.
Nagaland Chief Minister T.R. Zeliang won the vote of confidence in the State Assembly with the support of 47 out of 59 MLAs. Zeliang was on Wednesday sworn in as the Chief Minister of Nagaland for the second time after incumbent Chief Minister Lezitsu was dismissed by Governor P.B. Acharya. He had failed to turn up in the Assembly to face the trust vote earlier this week. Former Gujarat Chief Minister Shankar Singh Waghela resigned from the Congress after alleging that he was sacked by the party. Waghela claimed he will not join any party. He also alleged that he wasn't given a free hand of the Assembly election campaign. The Congress denied his allegations and clarified that he wasn't sacked. Amid the ongoing standoff between JDU and RJD, Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav attended the cabinet meeting chaired by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. Later, he also met Nitish Kumar in his chamber. It is, however, not known what transpired during the meeting. The cracks in the Grand Alliance appeared after the CBI conducted raids on the properties linked to RJD Chief Lalu Prasad Yadav and his family and lodged an FIR against Tejasvi Yadav for criminal conspiracy, cheating and criminal misconduct. The JDU had told Lalu and his family to come clean on the source of their assets. AIADMK Amma Deputy General Secretary Dinakaran dismissed allegations of special treatment for VK Shashikala in Bengaluru jail. The reaction came after a police report alleged that Shashikala bribed jail authorities with Rs 2 crore for preferential treatment. Meanwhile, Karnataka government transferred DIG prisons D. Rupa after she brought to light the alleged special treatment meted out to Shashikala. Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi attacked the centre over agrarian crisis at a rally in Rajasthan. Addressing the Kisan Akrosh rally, Gandhi said that Prime Minister has failed to fulfill the promises of supporting the cause of farmers and provide 2 crore jobs.
Several situations led to interesting comments by political leaders in the bid to counter each other's claims. We have shortlisted the best ones for you in Face Off.
माननीय मायावती जी अनडिस्प्यूटेड दलितों की नेता है, गरीबों की नेता है और महिला है। मायावती जी को हम लोग यहाँ से निश्चित रूप से भेजेंगे, हम लोग वो चाहेगी तो।
इनकी तारीफ क्या पूछते हो, उम्र सारी गुनाहों में गुजरी और अब पारसा बन रहे हैं ऐसे जैसे गंगा नहाए हुए हैं। प्रदेश की दलित जनता ने उनको मौका दिया था, सवर्णों ने भी मौका दिया था, वो राज्य की मुखिया बनी थी। उन 5 सालों में उन्होंने पैसे बनाने के अलावा कुछ नहीं किया, इसलिए मैं इस इस्तीफे को प्रायश्चित मानूंगी, धमकी नहीं मानूंगी।
Whether to have a state flag or an anthem is a grey area. That depends on again on the policy.
We have constituted a committee. Committee is examining all those things.
हमारा देश जो है वो संविधान से चलता है और संविधान जो है वो जिस चीज की इजाजत न देता हो उसको कैसे किया जा सकता है, ये एक बड़ा सवाल है। और मुझे लगता है कि जो लोग इस चीज की पैरवी कर रहे हैं वो कहीं न कहीं संविधान के प्रति अनभिज्ञ हैं।
যদি কেউ মনে করে থাকেন বিজেপি পার্টি যে বাংলাটা খুব সহজ জায়গা, দুটো গরু নিয়ে এসে লোক মেরে দিয়ে আর বন্দুক চালিয়ে দিয়ে আর দাঙ্গা করে দিয়ে এইভাবেই চলবে, আর আমরা কথা না শুনলেই এজেন্সির নামে কোথাও ইডি, কোথাও সিবিআই, কোথাও আইটি ঢুকিয়ে দিয়ে যা ইচ্ছা তাই করবে, আমরা পরিষ্কার বলছি আমরা ভাঙি তো আমরা মটকাই না।
ममता बनर्जी का कारण आज 7 महीना में 14 दंगा पश्चिम बंगाल में हुआ जो कभी नहीं हुआ। ममता बनर्जी का कारण आज पुलिस को पीटे जा रहा है। तो ये सारे स्थिति से ममता बनर्जी इतना फ्रस्ट्रेटेड हो चुका है जी इन्होंने ऐसा अपशब्द बोलना शुरू किया।
Apart from television studios, protest marches and public rallies, political leaders were also busy taking a dig at each other and making their point on several social media platforms. Let's take a look at what all transpired in the virtual world of Indian politics.
Former Finance Minister P. Chidambaram took to Twitter and blamed the centre for unrest in the valley. In a series of tweets, Chidambaram said that the people of Jammu and Kashmir are caught between the two maximalist positions. State Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti had earlier said that the instability in the valley is due to the few external dimensions. She also accused China of interfering in the state security situation. Referring to Mufti's statement on China's interference in Kashmir, former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Omar Abdullah asked the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister to explain China's role in worsening Kashmir's situation. In his tweets, Omar said that he was never given any intelligence reports of Chinese meddling in Jammu and Kashmir during his 6-year tenure as Chief Minister of the state. Opposition Congress continued to attack the centre over the farmer crisis in the country. In its tweets from the official Twitter handle, Congress said that the centre did not allow the opposition to raise the issue in the parliament even for a minute. Congress party also tweeted that the Congress-run state governments have successfully waived off farm loans. CPIM General Secretary also slammed the government for failing to achieve its promised targets. Quoting reports on Twitter, Sitaram Yechuri said that the jobs in the country have fallen by 7 million. Quoting another report which said that India has seen 29 internet shutdowns in the first 6 months of this year, Yechuri called the centre's Digital India campaign a sham. Meanwhile, the BJP from its official Twitter handle further tweeted newspaper reports quoting its government's achievements in housing schemes and job creation.
So this was the summary of twists and turns in the world of Indian politics this week. We will be back again next week with some more interesting information and analysis. Till then, we will leave you with these visuals of the week. Keep watching Rajya Sabha television.